set off on a journey for transformation from a tech-enabled business correspondent to a payments bank. Two businesses with very distinct level of ownership. I feel a sense of humbleness looking back into those early days when we embarked on our journey to provide financial inclusion in a time when banking was still done through branches. While building Fino, in the initial days, we faced the tough challenge of providing comfort to our customers and bankers. We spent a lot of time understanding the challenges and developing solutions of making banking simple. We worked on an executional and viable plan to reach out to the massive market opportunity. In the process, we built the largest and the most trusted business correspondent company in the country, enabling low-value, high-volume transactions across 100 million customers in over 60,000 villages. Fino has truly enabled financial inclusion by pioneering in building the state-of-art technology solutions like the smart card biometric infrastructure, over-the-counter card issuance, and mobile-based solutions, thereby bringing more and more people into the banking fold. This was much before the biometric-based Aadhaar came into existence. We sort of pioneered the biometric-based banking in the country. Likewise, we had many firsts to our credit. We ran the first financial inclusion program. We introduced the electronic benefit transfer, which then became direct benefit transfer, and the much acclaimed microinsurance program, Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Yojana. These are all projects that have a tremendous impact on the society and more than anything, gave people an identity. Our years of efforts received a fillip with the launch of Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana that accelerated financial inclusion initiatives in the country. We were part of a new initiative 11 years ago. We created a sustainable model and learned a lot from it. Once again, we have an opportunity to be part of a new ecosystem that will script another evolution in the banking system, this time as a payments bank. On that note, I would like to thank all our partners, board members, investors, employees, and most importantly, our customers, without whom this would not have been possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gupta, for that very warm welcome address. And now I would like to invite Professor Mahendra Kumar Chauhan, Chairman, Fino Payments Bank, to say a few words. Welcome, sir.
Good morning to all of you. I am Chanda Kochhar, Managing Director and CEO of ICICI, Mr. D. Rajkumar, Chairman of BPCL, Rishi Gupta, Managing Director and CEO of Fino Payment Bank. It gives me immense pleasure to add my word of welcome to all of you at this momentous occasion. I call it momentous because, as you heard earlier, up till now, Fino was working as BC for banks. But today, Fino itself is a payment bank. Congratulations, Rishi, and all of you. And let me hasten to add that Fino is not just another payment bank. Fino has got several distinct differentiating factors, and I'll take a few minutes to enumerate some of them in front of you. First of all, it is a very high order purpose of business. And that high order purpose of business is financial inclusion. The milestone for which I just learned barely a few minutes ago, that though officially Fino was launched with the initial investors like ICICI Bank and others in 2006, but the real seeding of financial inclusion took place in 2002 internally in ICICI Bank. Congratulations, Madam Chanda Kochhar, for that, and thank you for doing that. And I'm sure there are press here, but I don't mind saying it, that the political leaders have picked up the financial inclusion as a theme later on, and we are so glad that we have PMJDY and other schemes doing so well. So the first differentiating factor for Fino is its board, I must say. We have been fortunate to build up a very strategic and cohesive board. Some of them are present here. We have Mr. Narendra Ambani, who is a marketing guru, the former managing director of Johnson & Johnson India and Indonesia. He currently sits as an independent director on Godrej Consumer Products and several other banks. Should I say welcome to you? You are my own friend. We have Professor Venkataraman in absentia, who is an academician par excellence from IIM Ahmedabad. He's an expert on finance. She will bring that expertise on the board. We have Punita Kumar Sinha. For some reasons she couldn't be here, but another finance expert and former managing director of Blackstone, United States. Ganesh Natarajan. When we talk of Digital India, when we talk of Fino Payment Bank, which is going to be leveraging all its strength and reach out to the nook and corner of India through technology. He is currently the chairman of the NASCOM Foundation and also sits on several other boards. We have Mr. Amit Jain here, who is an investor. Amit smells money actually, and no wonder he has invested in Fino. Managing Director of Blackstone, India. We have Mr. Kamani, I think he couldn't make it. He is the nominee of ICICI Bank. Mr. Pramod Sharma, who is the Executive Director of BPCL, expert in strategy, has handled retail for BPCL like Behemoth. We have Alok Gupta, who is from HAV Headland. So, board for every company is a source of competitive advantage, but this board, as you see, is highly diverse in terms of expertise, in terms of geographical diversity, in terms of gender diversity. So that's the most important differentiating factor. The second most important differentiating factor for Fino Payment Bank is the highly motivated team of Fino under the guidance of Rishi Gupta, Managing Director. I have had the opportunity to work, this team is fully charged for several years, and I must tell you, whatever board wanted to do in terms of direction, long-term policy, vision, this team has developed an art of execution excellence. They just went out and did it. And I'm sure they're going to continue to do that, and that's why I call it a distinctive advantage for Fino. Furthermore, we have highly supportive set of institutional investors. Two of them are present right here on the dais. Chanda Kochhar, ICICI, and Mr. Rajkumar, BPCL. Actually, BPCL is now our strategic partner. We have Blackstone. I must make a mention of IFC was initial one, and I see June Zhang present here. Hi June, thank you for coming all the way from Delhi. Intel Capital, we have Amit Bahel here. So these are HAV 3 we saw. So we have a highly supportive set of institutional investors. With the help of all these differentiating factors, Fino is going to create a new generation payment bank. I want to thank formally, in my position as a non-executive chairman to Reserve Bank of India. We are all excited with this opportunity to be able to participate in this journey to create a new generation bank called Fino Payment Bank. Now, lastly, two more thoughts that I want to leave with all of you. Financial inclusion, all of us have heard and we've worked. Government of India made a promise to people of India to bring about and offer a governance which will bring about the sustainable development for people of India. So with whatever schemes we have got, it's happening. But I must also tell you that we as a nation have made a commitment to the International Committee under the United Nations by being the signatory of Sustainable Development Goals, 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And this leads me to believe that whatever is good for India is good for world. Because if 1.3 billion people achieve sustainable development, out of 7.2 billion people, we are helping the whole world to become sustainable development. So, with these words, ladies and gentlemen, and one last thing, how could I forget that? I must make a mention about the significant contribution made by Mr. Sandeep Bakshi, who till recently was the chairman of Fino, and I am stepping into his shoes, which I find so big to fill. Unfortunately, I think because Today is the first AGM of ICICI Pru, therefore he has not been able to come to us. But in absentia, I want to thank, and I'm sure, ma'am, you're going to meet him, so please do convey our thanks to him. And one more individual, Mr. Ashok Kinney, who has been on the board of Fino right from inception. Thank you, Mr. Kinney, for being such a wonderful colleague and charting the destiny of Fino. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Chauhan, for those reflections. Ladies and gentlemen, our next dignitary, she is our mentor and one of our biggest influencers, the Managing Director and CEO, ICICI Bank Limited, Mrs. Chanda Kochhar. Welcome, ma'am.
Good morning, all our dignitaries on the dais and all our distinguished guests here. It's a pleasure to be here today at this launch of the Fino Payments Bank. As I stand here, I actually tend to feel that this is one major step in the journey that actually started more than 10 years ago as a part of the ICICI group. So at ICICI, we've always believed in creating institutions and platforms that actually go and play a much larger role in the economy and in the financial markets. From creating, say, a credit rating agency to various exchanges and so on, we've played that pioneering role in creating many platforms that have played a very important role in the financial markets. Similarly, we also believe in the power of technology and innovation, and we believe that technology and innovation not just changes business models, but it actually enables us to achieve things which otherwise seem impossible. And it is really these two beliefs that was the genesis of Fino. So it was more than a decade ago when we realized within the bank that following traditional models for financial inclusion is not really going to create meaningful financial inclusion. And therefore, as an internal project, we started this experiment of using biometrics for financial inclusion. And that is where the seed was sown and the concept of Fino got created as an internal project within ICICI. Of course, later the Reserve Bank came out with this very visionary guideline of allowing business correspondence. And that is how around July 2006, we really created Fino into a separate independent entity. From there on, congratulations to the entire team. They've really grown this entity, not just in terms of size, but in terms of the contribution that they have made across the payments value chain as well as financial inclusion. And there has just been no looking back. You heard Rishi Gupta saying that as early as 2007, they used biometric authentication to make government-related payments like Manrega and so on. And from there on, we've always believed that a platform that is created outside of the bank should, in its true DNA, become an independent platform. And that's how this platform grew with partnerships from various entities in the financial services world and created these benchmarks across the payments chain, use of technology and financial inclusion. So today it's very heartening to see that they are taking this one big transformational step of setting up the Fino Payments Bank. And as we look at the payments bank scenario in the country, I would say that first of all, this is a very important and a visionary regulation and guideline from the Reserve Bank to enable this creation of independent payment banks. But as these payments banks start to operate, they will have to keep the entire context and ecosystem in mind. And in my view, the few things that they will have to keep in mind is that first, financial inclusion is not just about opening bank accounts. I think a bank account is the first step in financial inclusion. But finally, when we have to meet the banking needs of the unbanked, we have to meet their needs around savings, credit, insurance, protection, and so on. And therefore, these payments banks have to fill those white spaces of creating access of all these products, all these services to those millions of people that they reach out to. The second is that technology and innovation is the only constant factor. The change is the only constant that remains, and we will see technology changing constantly. And it's not just about individual entities in the payment system, but every entity, including the payments bank, will really have to keep up the curve as far as technology and innovation is concerned. Because today, what I believe is that India is really at the ahead of the curve of the world in terms of using technology in increasing the access of financial services to the millions of customers. We are a mobile-first country. We have the smartphones, we have the internet, we have all the other payment systems, we have the niche payment entities around the fintech, we have banks who are ahead of technology compared to the rest of the world in terms of use of technology, and then we have UPI and so on. So I think as a country, we are creating an ecosystem which is setting next practices as far as use of technology is concerned, and the individual payment banks will have to also keep that context in mind as they grow and expand their services. So I think in that context, I believe Fino Payments Bank is the most suited to set out to achieve what the payments banks are really set out to achieve. With its wide partnership with various entities, I think it has access to all the products and services. Now we have a very strategic partnership in the form of BPCL as well. And of course the partnership with ICICI, which will give it access to all the products around savings, deposits, credit, and so on and so forth, including the partnerships with our two insurance companies. So that is one big strength of Fino. And the second strength of Fino is that innovation and technology is in its DNA. So with these strengths, I think Fino is now, through its payment bank, set to create another revolution and transformation in the entire payments and financial inclusion space. And as it does so, as partners, we look forward to a meaningful and impactful partnership and wish the team all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Kochhar. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call on stage the Chairman and Managing Director of Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, Mr. D. Rajkumar.
Mrs. Chanda Kochhar, Professor Chavan, Mr. Rishi Gupta, directors on the board of Fino, my colleagues and friends from the banking industry and the oil industry, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. The launch of Fino Payments Bank is a momentous occasion. Even the date is unique. It is 17/7/17, and I am extremely pleased to be here. And thanks, Rishi, for inviting us over. Thank you. Indeed, it is a great feeling to be associated with one of the world's oldest trades. Call it banking, call it lending or funding. It is this industry that has been fueling and providing requisite thrust to the economic engine to propel forward. From your perspective, you may be wondering as to why this oil man sitting here would like to be associated with a bank instead of focusing on marketing of oil and petroleum products. And herein lies the key difference. We are an oil marketing company and not merely an oil selling or a distributing company. I did look up the definition of marketing. American Marketing Association defines marketing as the activity and process for creating, communicating, and delivering offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and the society at large. So then, need I need to explain as to why I'm sitting here? And also given the fact that BPCL, predominantly an oil marketing and refining company with a robust presence in upstream as well, identified way back in 1995 the importance of enhanced customer offerings through new initiatives to create value for all the stakeholders and ensure continuous momentum for customer traction. Looking back, about 20 years ago, BPCL launched a cashless payment system for our customers at the retail outlets. Besides people like you and me, the majority of the usage of these cards was by people like truck drivers. You can imagine the amount of efforts, change of mindsets, teaching usage, and encouraging adaptability. You can imagine the amount of trouble that we had to undergo. But then all these efforts resulted in an annual transaction value of about $4 billion US. Additionally, another cashless product called Petrocard of ours for urban motorists reached a peak of approximately 1.6 million customer base, the highest ever for a prepaid card. Currently or presently, the Indian economy is undergoing a major transformation with several policy initiatives under various stages of implementation. These are to a large extent aligned with some global megatrends that are shaping the future of businesses and customers across the world. With the markets opening up, we are witnessing next evolution centered around non-fuel initiatives. As we move from regulated to deregulated markets in the oil industry, business models start evolving around these non-fuel businesses and initiatives. In fact, in certain countries it is as high as 65%. And we see that already happening in Indian market too. At BPCL, we have already started few initiatives to enhance customer offerings through our retail outlets and as well as LPG distributor networks. Basically to leverage our existing infrastructure, our core marketing strength, and the technology, which I think Madam was also alluding to. One large opportunity was in the field of financial inclusion. It is estimated that there are about 200 million unbanked people population in India, and substantial numbers live in rural areas and highways, and we have network in these areas. So about a year ago, we piloted digital payment solutions and financial inclusion offerings at select locations in these areas, and we find that our experience has been very positive. This is one area where we see very huge synergy with Fino. Fino's strong presence with more than 28,000 business correspondents, coupled with our strong network presence, would be a powerful combination generating tremendous value for both the organizations. Going forward, our network, besides meeting the fueling needs, would also provide banking solutions to our customers. Today, Fino is India's largest business correspondent and banking technology platform company, providing services to over 28 million active banking customers spread across the country. And with the launch of Fino Payments Bank, it is only going to grow stronger and offer better and customized solutions to its customers. I wish Rishi and the entire Fino team all the very best, and I'm sure that our association and the presence of our major valued shareholders like ICICI would make it a great success. Thank you very much. All the very best.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rajkumar. I would request our dignitaries to please take their